Welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. It's actually a beautiful and lovely Friday on the program 360 Sports, and we'll start from the home scene. We'll start from Lagos, where the Badminton Classic is actually going on at this point in time, and we are very happy for our Nigerian #1 African #1 also Okpeyori, that is Anuoluwa Okpeyori, who is through to the quarterfinal after he defeated another Nigerian, Victor Ikechukwu, 2-1 in the round of 32 on Thursday, and he will be playing. He won that game with a score of 17-21, 21-15. That is the first set. He defeated Ikechukwu 17-21, and then in the second set 21-15, and then in the third set it was 21-17. He lost the first set, I beg your pardon, and then he won the remaining two sets, and now he will face Simini Romadhani from the United Arab Emirates in the quarterfinals. And for Okpeyori, he is looking to actually clinch this title after he did the same feat a few months ago, and it's looking so good for Anuoluwa Okpeyori, who also featured at the last Olympics in Tokyo. That was Tokyo, Japan, where he couldn't make it to the top. He actually played in the classification game right there in Tokyo, and then he also played in the doubles. But this time around, he's taking everything serious right there in Lagos Classics, where we have over 100 athletes from all over the world, Africa and other continents of the world, playing in this particular championship. And it's good for Anuoluwa after he defeated another Nigerian, Ikechukwu, 2-1 right there, and now he is through to play Simi Romadhani of United Arab Emirates in the quarterfinals. Good one. We wish Anuoluwa Okpeyori the best in the quarterfinal. When it comes to badminton, this is a sport that a lot of Nigerians don't really show interest. Once it's not football, you will not see Nigerians actually showing their interest. But I can bet you that these are kind of sports that you need to actually participate in, and you who says you can't do well, you can also become a world champion when you play some of these individual sports, not just the team sports alone. So, but for Anuoluwa, I think he's taking things easy and one step at a time, one match at a time, right there in the Lagos Classics. Now into the quarterfinal. What does the quarterfinal holds for Anuoluwa? At the end of the day, let's see if he will be able to defeat Romadhani Simi of United Arab Emirates in the quarterfinal. Anuoluwa, who was before this tournament, actually he talked of that he wants to lift this trophy, and now with the way things are going, if you get to the quarterfinal, you should know what that means already. You are seeing if you win the quarterfinal, straight to semi-final, and from semi-final, if you win it, you are in the final. Anything can happen in the final. But for Anuoluwa, he actually talked off before this tournament, and he is matching his words with action in the Lagos Classic. We have players from Brazil, we have players from other African country, United Arab Emirates in the Middle East, and a lot of foreign players landed in Lagos for this particular tournament, and it's a way of also getting tickets for the Olympics, and that is the beauty of this particular Lagos Classic Championship. That is why you see all these foreign players coming to Nigeria, because the tournament is also an avenue to get the Olympic tickets that will be happening in Paris, that is France, come next year. And for Anuoluwa, he's not only looking at clinching the title, but also clinching the ticket to appear again back to back in the Olympics that will be happening next year in Paris, France. And that is what we Nigerians are looking at. When Nigerians are not always pushover when it comes to some of these individual sports. And congratulations to Anuoluwa Okpeyori for getting to the quarterfinal. Let's see how the match between him and Simini Romahani of United Arab Emirates will end. And let me say from 360 Sports, congratulations to Anolua Okpeyori. Okay, let's leave badminton and talk some football. The CAF Women's Champions League, that is the CAF Champions League for women, the Waffle Zone B qualifier right there. It happened at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium. After a blistering start, they defeated in their first game. They were able to beat with 10-man Sam Nelly, and then at the end of the day, without kicking a ball, they were through to the semi-final. They defeated Atletico Club of Côte d'Ivoire 2-1 in the semi-final, and then they met Apem Dakoa of Ghana in the final. That is Delta Queens. But at the end of the day, they were pipped right there in at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium. 1-0 it ended, and Apem Dakoa picked the ticket to represent the region in the CAF Women's Champions League. It's actually a very not good one for Delta Queens after winning the Nigerian Women's League title, and now they were hoping to represent the continent, as in the region, in the CAF Women's Champions League, the third edition. But it's a game. You lose some and you win some. And for Apem Dakoa, they are in high heavens right now. They are in cloud 9 because they came to Nigeria, they saw, they conquer, and they are going back to Ghana with victory. They are smiling. This time around, it's not Ghana must go, but Ghana has come and they go. So they are going back to their country with joy in their heart. For them, they will be representing the continent in the CAF Women's Champions League. Like you can see, as you can see on your screen, Apem Dakoa won, Delta Queens 0. It happened at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium, and that goal was actually a painful one. There was no time for Delta Queens to come back in that game, and it went the way of the Ghanaian ladies. Good one, but at the end of the day, Delta Queens can also hold their heads up high for them to even get to the final. But the plan was to get to the Women's Champions League proper and represent the region and represent Nigeria. We know we had Rivers Angels who went there first. We now have Bayelsa Queens. Rivers Angels outing in the first edition. The maiden edition was nothing to write home about. It was a poor and dismal performance from Rivers Angel. But the second time a Nigerian club went, that is Bayelsa Queens, who got to the semi-final. We picked the bronze. That is Bayelsa Queens picked the bronze in the last edition, the second edition. And now the third edition, we will not be having a Nigerian representing the region, but rather we'll be having a team from Ghana, Ghanaian champions, Apem Dakoa, as they are called, will representing the region in the Women's CAF Women's Champions League later on. And to tell you the truth, we need this is a wake-up call. Our football is actually dying, both for the men and women. It's actually dying in this country. NFF, the sports ministry, every sports stakeholders need to put hands on deck and see how we can revive our sport, not just football alone, sports in general, because sports is one unifying factor in this country. Is an area, if the government can invest in, you're sure to get we are sure to get the goods back, because sports, when it comes to sports, you see what is happening in other climes of the world. They invest in sports and you see the returns they are making monthly, week in, week out. If the Saudis can be doling out a lot of money in buying players, it's because they know that sports is business, and that is why they are doing all they can to take away all players from Europe to the Middle East. But for the Delta Queens, well, they just have to take it by heart. These things happens in football, but it's actually a bad one. Rivers I beg your pardon, Enyimba Faba crashed out of the CAF Men's Champions League. Rainbow Stars also leaving only Bendel Insurance, and now for the women, the Women's CAF Champions League, Bayelsa and Delta Queens will not be there. So it's actually a painful one. It's a wake-up call. It's time for action. It's time to revive our football. It's time to look inward. Where are we getting it wrong? Let's go back to the basics and get things right. Okay, let's leave let's leave Delta Queens, let's leave Benin and head straight to Europe. The biggest one happened on Thursday, and we had the draws of the UEFA Champions League group stage, and everybody is talking, saying what they know, and looking at teams, how are they going to fare in the group stage. Okay, let's take it group by group, and then let's look at the chances of the teams in each of the group, how they will progress. Maybe they will get to the second round, that is the round of 16, quarterfinal, semi-final, and then the final. In Group A, we have we have Bayern Munich, the German machine, you know them, the Bavarians. In Group A, we have Manchester United, the Red Devils. We have FC Copenhagen of Denmark, and then we have Galatasaray of Turkey. Now, the two teams of the Bayern Munich and Manchester United are former champions of the Champions League, and everybody is looking at that two teams to make it out of that group. Maybe Manchester United might top, or Bayern Munich might top the group and make it out of that group. But in football, you are bound to get a lot of surprises. And then in Group B, we have Sevilla, we have Arsenal, we have PSV Eindhoven, and then we have RC Lens of France. Now, for Sevilla, they are Europa kings. They are Europa League kings. They've won it 7 times. That is what they do. They will drop from the Champions League and go to Europa and win it. But this time around, will there be that chance for them? Maybe they will progress to the quarterfinal. Let's see. But for Arsenal, they are making a return to the Champions League after many seasons out of the Champions League. PSV Eindhoven, the same thing. They are making a return to the Champions League. And RC Lens also. We have Arsenal, PSV Eindhoven, and RC Lens making it back to the Champions League. Most especially RC Lens. This is a team that last graced the Champions League quite some numbers of years ago, but they are making it back. And for PSV Eindhoven of Netherlands, good one for them, making it back to the Champions League also. And for Arsenal, also making it back to the Champions League. Let's go to Group C, where we have it's another group of death as it is. We have Napoli, we have Real Madrid, we have Braga, and we have Union Berlin of Germany. Napoli, champions of Italy, and then Real Madrid, the team that owns the Champions League. In that group, we have Braga of Portugal and Union Berlin. And if you look at it from start and from on paper, Napoli and Real Madrid is tipped to make it out of that group because of their pedigree, because of the caliber of players they have in their team. And then in Group D, we have Benfica, we have Inter Milan, last season finalist, we have Salzburg, and we have Real Sociedad of Spain, Benfica of Portugal, Inter Milan of Spain, and Salzburg of Czech. Now let's see who makes it out of that group. It's looking good. Inter Milan probably might top the group, and then we'll look for the second position between Benfica, Salzburg, and Real Sociedad. Then let's go straight to Group E. We have Feyenoord, we have Atletico Madrid, we have Lazio, and we have Celtic. Celtic also making it back to the Champions League. That is the Scottish champions. And then in Group F, we have Paris Saint-Germain, PSG, we have Dortmund, we have AC Milan, 6-time champions, and we have Newcastle United. Big one for Newcastle United. Also tag the group of death, because you have Paris Saint-Germain, you have Dortmund, you have AC Milan. How is Newcastle going to fare in this group? It's not left for that team to wriggle their way out. The Howie is a good manager, but he's going to have his hand full against PSG, Dortmund, and the 6-time champions AC Milan. Good one. Let me say good one for Newcastle, because it's going to be 11 players that will be actually playing that game. So the best team, but as it stands, Paris Saint-Germain and AC Milan is tipped to at least qualify from that group. And then Dortmund also is not a pushover. And then Newcastle United, well, let's see how it's going to end. And let's go straight to Group G. We have Manchester City, we have RB Leipzig, and then we have Red Star Belgrade, and then we have Young Boys. How young are they? Making it back again to the Champions League, and the Red Star Belgrade of Bulgaria in that group, RB Leipzig of Germany, and Manchester City, defending champions. Now, people say this is an easy group for Manchester City, and every season in, season out, Manchester City normally gets the easiest group of all in the Champions League. I don't know how they do it, but if you look at all of the groups, Manchester City's group, that is Group G, is actually is an easy group for them, and they are sure to make it out of that group. And then let's go straight to Group H. We have Barcelona, we have Porto, we have Shakhtar the Donetsk of Ukraine, and then we have Royal Antwerp of Belgium, another team, newcomer, making it to the Champions League. So a lot of new teams in the Champions League, the likes of Royal Antwerp, Newcastle United, RC Lens. These are teams that are making their way back to the Champions League again after how many years, after they've not graced this league for so many quite number of years. But for Arsenal, well, Arsenal is making a return. PSV Eindhoven is making a return. That is in Group B. We have Copenhagen of Denmark in Group A making a return. Galatasaray, the same thing. Salzburg, Real Sociedad, they were there last season for Real Sociedad. Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid, Lazio, Celtic, and then Newcastle United. Wow, big one for Newcastle. Everybody, everybody is thinking Newcastle will be a pushover in that group, but I bet you Newcastle is in for a serious business, and they are in there to shock everyone who actually will not give them chance in that group. Who says when Leicester City got there in 2015, when they won the league, they made it to the round of 16, and surprisingly they were knocked out. Despite that, they had their heads up high after they were champions of the league in England, that is the EPL champions in 2015, and then they made it to the second round of the UEFA Champions League. And for all of the teams that made it this season to the UEFA Champions League group stage, congratulations to all of them. Let's see how it's going to. Another surprising team is Union Berlin. That Group C, Napoli, Real Madrid, Braga, Union Berlin. And it's good we have a lot of Nigerians in all of these teams that will be seeing them play in the Champions League. And that is how the group is standing. And few weeks from now, we'll be having match day one in the Champions League. And let's see how they are going to start. All of the teams are going to start in each of the group. Okay, let's go to today's fixtures. We have some fixtures in the European top European leagues, and we'll be starting from England, where we have Luton against West Ham United, a new team. Last weekend they lost to Chelsea in their last game, and for West Ham United, they were able to hammer Brighton 3-1. It ended that game. And then in Spain, we have Cadiz against Villarreal. We have Almeria against Celta Vigo, that is La Liga. And then in the German Bundesliga, we have Borussia Dortmund against FC Heidenheim 1846. And then in the Italian Serie A, we have Sassuolo against Hellas Verona. And then we have Roma against AC Milan. Let's see if they are actually going to showcase their new signing. We already know that Romelu Lukaku is already in that team. Let's see if he's going to play some part for Jose Mourinho against AC Milan. And for West Ham against Luton, it's going to be firepower, a very tough game in that order. And then Cadiz against Villarreal. Cadiz have started life well in La Liga this season after the struggle last season, but this time around they are playing well. They've started well in their first two games. They've given a very good account of themselves. And then for Almeria against Celta Vigo, another firepower, we will be seeing Sadiq Umar in that side and in that team. Good one. He will be playing against his former team. And then for Borussia Dortmund against FC Heidenheim, a new team also that just got newly promoted to the German Bundesliga. Then in Italy, the big one, the biggest one of the night will be Roma against AC Milan right there in the city of Rome. Now let's see how Roma is going to take on AC Milan, another strong team, formidable team. And then we have, like I said, in England, Luton Town against West Ham United. These are today's fixtures. These are the fixtures that we'll be having in the top 5 European league. But in England, that is EPL, Spanish La Liga, German Bundesliga, and then the Italian Serie A. So go pick any of the game that you want to watch. But I tell you, the biggest game of today's fixture is AS Roma against AC Milan. Why is it big? Because it's a star-studded game, and we know AS Roma also want to prove a point. Jose Mourinho wants to win the league again in Italy after he did that with Inter Milan. Now he wants to be the champions again, and AS Roma are actually pushing to see how they can actually win it and win the league fair and square. Okay, let's leave today's fixtures and talk some transfers. Now let's start with a Nigerian. He actually shown like a million stars during the Under-20 World Cup in Argentina. He's no other person than Benjamin Frederick from Simon Ben FC of Kaduna. Now he has joined Brentford of England on loan. This guy is actually a very good defender. I watched him. He was scouted right here at the area 3 playground sometimes ago when we have the FA the preseason games, and I personally watched this guy, and I was part of the persons that made recommendation on Benjamin Frederick, because he's a talented, strong, good defender, young. At what age? He has now joined Brentford FC of England on loan, where he will be playing his trade for the next couple of seasons. And at the end of the loan, let's see if they are going to make that deal a permanent one for Benjamin Frederick, a guy that actually did very well during the Under-20 World Cup in Argentina. So congratulations to Benjamin Frederick for joining Onyeka in that team. Good one for him, and good one for every other Nigerian player who also part of the transfer. We know that the transfer deadline, it's a rush hour, a lot of transfer, a lot of movement from big team A to team B, involving some big players in Europe. And good one that we also have Nigerians also making moves from their previous team to a new team. So, and for Benjamin Frederick, going to Brentford is a learning curve. It's not a bad move at all. I think he was going to learn a lot under Frank, that is the coach of Brentford. And to tell you, he's a bundle of talents. And after some season, we should be seeing Benjamin Frederick playing for the senior national team of Nigeria, that is the Super Eagles. Okay, let's leave Benjamin Frederick. We're still staying in England. Let's talk about another Nigerian player, but a big player this time around, in person of Alex Iwobi. Fulham is actually closing on Alex Iwobi deal. They want to snap him up from Everton. In their last game against Fulham, they lost, but now Fulham want to snap him up. They want his services. They want to buy him to their side. They are doing everything they can to actually get Alex Iwobi on their team list, and which is a good one for Alex Iwobi. He will be returning back to London. That is, if this deal goes through. He was formerly a player for Arsenal. We know that Arsenal is in London, and now if this deal goes through, he will go back to London, where he started his footballing career from. And who says home is home? Home is home. Okay, let's quickly take this last one on the show. Like I mentioned on today's fixture, Romelu Lukaku has signed for AS Roma on loan from Chelsea, and now is a good one. He wants to have another bite under Jose Mourinho. After they started together in Chelsea, he was let go. When Mourinho came to Manchester United, he was brought back to play under Mourinho, and now he has gone to AS Roma to join Mourinho. I think the marriage between Jose Mourinho when it comes to football is actually a good one for these two personnel, for the coach, for the player, in person of Romelu Lukaku. Okay, that is where we'll leave it on the show. Okay, quickly before we go, happy new month to all our viewers out there. Thanks for watching. I am Emmanuel Fashimi.